doing scripting with particle flow, I can highly recommend that you get that DVD. Watch that. It's by Laszlo Sebo, who's a Hungarian Max expert, and he's also a very good scripter as well. He's worked at Frantic Films and he's worked on a number of projects. If you want to have a look at the CG Academy website, have a look on our bio page and you'll see his biography there. You'll see various films that he's worked on. And it's a very good DVD. The basic premises of it is that it'll take you from being an absolute novice with scripting, no knowledge of scripting whatsoever, and it'll take you through to the point where you can do, you can make basic tools, and you can basically, do quite powerful things, even with quite a small amount of knowledge. And it's a very good icebreaker to get you into doing scripting, and Laszlo really does explain it very, very well. Whilst I was editing that DVD, I certainly learnt quite a few things about MaxScript that I didn't understand from just picking it up myself. And I've been dabbling with MaxScript for quite a few years now, so it's definitely worth a look at that DVD. So enough of plugging our DVDs. Let's get back to this one and have a look at how this particular script works. The first thing the script does is it activates certain channels which are used later in the script. And the reason why you have to actually activate channels is that if you didn't do this, the script wouldn't know which of the channels to activate. And each channel takes up memory, so it would be dumb if it actually activated every single particle channel that you were going to use. That would use up a lot of memory and it would become pretty slow. And it would be very inefficient. So the first thing you do is you declare which channels you're going to use. Now, I'm going to use the shape channel, which is actually the mesh shape of the particle. I'm going to use the age channel, which is the age of each particle. And you can see I've got comments in the script here that actually explains that. This bracket and open bracket and close bracket means that basically this opens the declaration area and this closes it. So that's it. We've just declared we're going to use this shape channel and we're going to use this age channel. Then we come to the initialization area. We don't need to initialize anything, so you can see it opens and closes and we don't do anything in there. Then we come to the proceed part of the script, which is the main beef of it. This is actually where it all happens. And actually what happens in this area is the first thing we do is we create a variable called count, and we make it equal the number of particles which are actually in the event at the current time. So if it's one particle, count equals 1. If there are 5 particles, count equals 5. Then what it does is, and don't forget this particular script has been executed on every integration step. Not every frame, but it's actually been implemented on every integration step, so that's something to bear in mind. So on every integration step, it's doing this entire script. It's set up the count value, and let's say there are 5 particles. It now knows that count equals 5. Then it says for I is just a number like 0. It takes it as 0, and when it runs, this is actually setting up a loop here, and as it iterates through this loop, I takes on the value of the current stage in the loop. So for instance, on the first time it goes through the loop, I equals 1, and you can see here for I equals 1, 2, so it starts off on 1 and it counts to the count value. So there are 5 particles in our example at the moment, so it will count from 1 to 5. So in other words, it'll loop through what comes next 5 times. If there were 28 particles in the event currently, it would loop through it 28 times. Then it opens up a bracket, and later on that bracket closes, so it does everything between those 2 brackets. This is the loop, everything between these 2 brackets here. And the first thing it does in the loop is it says the particle index is equal to I. So the first thing is, the first time we go into this loop, I is equal to 1. So it says the particle index is equal to 1. So in other words, it's going to do something to the first particle. The particle with the particle ID of 1 is going to do something to that. So then what it does is it checks on something. It says if the particle age is less than 15, do this then. And then I've got a comment here to explain what's going on. And if this is correct, if this is true, it does what comes next in these brackets. The bracket gets opened here and it gets closed here. So in between these 2 brackets, it does this. It does particle shape equals the shape of an object in our scene called T-pot 1,